Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I just had to help my son tie his tie. Boy, I don't wear ties very often, hardly ever. I hate ties, but I guess that's part of growing up. I figured out, I was taught how to tie a tie when I was growing up. I have not, I don't know that I taught my sons how to tie a tie yet. I've got a 19-year-old that probably needs me to spend some time and do that. You know, as a parent, sometimes you drop the ball on a few things, but I feel like I covered the most important things. Okay, here's an important thing. Don't forget, if you want to join the private group and get this entire video plus the extended video, and there's a lot to cover today. If you want to get both without advertising, you can join through the Patreon at daixrp.com, or if you'd prefer to join through YouTube, click the join button below any of these videos. All right, the markets are struggling. The same issues going on, the tariff stuff. We've got a $1.78 XRP. I'm in bill paying mode right this second, but the second that I'm past all that, you better believe I'm jumping on some XRP buys if the price stays where it is. Bitcoin dipped below 76,000 as China retaliates with an 84% tariffs on U.S. goods. And here it is. U.S. stock market futures collapse as China imposes additional tariffs. And here it is. This is absolutely insane. Additional tariffs of 50% were imposed on Chinese imports. 7 hours later, China announces additional tariffs of 84% on U.S. imports. This is on top of the 34% that they already charged for a total of 118. Currently, U.S. is charging China a total of 104% in tariffs. Trump administration has pledged to retaliate against all tariff increases on U.S. We expect another increase in U.S. tariffs on China above 118. We are witnessing the World War III of trade wars. Oh, you know what that reminds me of? What was I told was created to prevent World War III and replace the petrodollar? That would be XRP years ago. Kevin O'Leary is pointing out the facts, and see, amongst all this temporary market pullback, people need to remember the big picture and what we've had to deal with for all these years. He's right over the target.
104% tariffs in China are not enough. I'm advocating 400%. I do business in China. They don't play by the rules. They've been in the WTO for decades. They have never abided by any of the rules they agreed to when they came in for decades. They cheat, they steal IP. I can't litigate in their courts. They take product, technology, they steal it, they manufacture it, sell it back here. Never has an administration.
400% tariffs? What would that look like?
I want Xi on an airplane to Washington to level the playing field. It's just not about tariffs.
Do you know how long the XRP community has been talking about it leveling the playing field? And now I can't even turn on the TV without them talking about leveling the playing field, folks. If you think this was all, crypto was all about green candles, cartoon monkeys, and bullcrap, you better wake up, folks. We've been talking about this stuff for years, over 5 years we've been talking about this. And it's, to my knowledge, it's really only been the XRP community that's been talking about all this stuff, because it's in your face obvious. Crypto was created for a far larger purpose than cartoon monkeys. Those were nothing but tests.
Anymore. Nobody has taken on China yet, not the Europeans, no administration for decades. As someone who actually does business there, I've had enough. I speak for millions of Americans who have IP that have been stolen by the Chinese. I have nothing against the Chinese people. They brought great literacy, art, and...
Okay, you get the point of what he's saying. And then here's Trump. I think he was at an event last night.
In the history of our country. And don't let some of these politicians go around saying, you know, because I'm telling you, these countries are calling us up, kissing my ass. They are. They are dying to make it here. Please, sir, make it here.
Think about the position these countries are in. They've been taking advantage of us for all these years. They should be kissing his ass.
I'll do anything. I'll do anything, sir. And then I'll see some rebel Republican, some guy that wants to grandstand, say, I think that Congress should take over negotiations. Let me tell you, you don't negotiate like I negotiate.
These Congress people have been doing nothing but talk for decades. They got us in this place by just talking and pretending like they were going to do things, and they didn't ever do anything.
Now, when we do it, it's so terrible. What Trump is doing is so terrible. They got rich, and not only China, many countries. I mean, you look at Vietnam, you look at so many, I could name 50 right now. Biden couldn't do that. He couldn't name any. Name one country. Name any country. What's the name of our country? He doesn't know.
Okay. What we're talking about here is short-term pain for mid to long-term boom. And I don't think it's going to be even very mid. I think this is going to be a slingshot in reverse. The era of this Bo Hines, who's on the crypto executive director of the President's Crypto Council, the era of digital asset and financial technology innovation in the U.S. has arrived, and it's only just beginning. That 2.4 whatever trillion in this market is going to explode. And I believe the one thing that nobody's talking about yet that's about to happen, I believe X money from Elon Musk is integrally involved in everything that we're watching right now. Elon Musk threw up the X bat sign yesterday. Interstage left. XRP dominance strikingly resembles 2014. I was there. I know what a real boom looks like. You hadn't seen it yet. Okay, this is Monica Long. This is from Ripple, president of Ripple, and there was a small clip put out from yesterday. Here's the other clip, because a lot of the standard. For those that don't know, you have there is an embedded group in the XRP community, and their job, and I don't know if they're paid to have that job, but their job and their mission, for whatever their reasons are, is no matter what comes out on Ripple or XRP, to try to turn it into a negative. And they've been here for a long time. I've blocked most of them. I don't lay down with pigs and get dirty, folks. Remember that, kids. They don't know what they're talking about. I think they're intentionally dishonest about it. And we'll show you what the real deal is. But so their narrative now, this hidden road thing, that's not XRP. Yeah, and I think these people are smarter than that. I think that they ought to be ashamed of themselves, but I don't think integrity even plays into who these people are.
Monica, you mentioned the involvement of the Ripple USD stablecoin as well in that. Can you just give us a sense of how that's going to be used as part of this acquisition, and also XRP as well, if at all?
Yeah, so for RLUSD, this is the Ripple US dollar stablecoin, which we just launched it at the end of last year in December. It's now exceeded, I think, 300 million in market cap. It's done $10 billion in trading. So we're off to a strong start, but this is order of magnitude bigger in terms of the volume opportunity, where Hidden Road's doing $3 trillion a year for its clients. So the key use case will be using it as collateral, and I think the unlock there for Hidden Road and its client base is having it on chain for 24/7 movement and settlement. And then for XRP, so I mentioned that thinking about their set of services in the prime brokerage business across FX and fixed income, repo, and others, bringing those things onto XRP Ledger. And that'll take some time to kind of, evaluate and create the right integrations for it to come true, but they're, totally bought in on it.
Can we just talk a bit about this?
Okay, this is very interesting. Brad Combs from Digital Perspectives went and asked Grok 3, based on the new Hidden Road acquisition, how much would XRP be worth with 10 billion in daily inflows? This is on the Hidden Road deal. I'm going to skip the whole write-up. I don't want to bore my audience, no offense, Brad, but it's very detailed. Let's get down to the fun part. $10 billion in daily inflows would likely push XRP's price upward with an immediate effect of $2.05 to $2.39 after 1 day under moderate assumptions. Sustained inflows could drive it to $5 to $20 or more depending on market conditions and adoptions. However, without specific data how inflows are utilized, payments, the price of XRP would reflect a balance between new demand, existing supply, and its new role in global finance. And this doesn't include all the other things, folks. It doesn't include the digital asset strategic reserve, doesn't include the ETFs, doesn't include RLUSD going out and buying treasuries and all the liquidity from that stablecoin and others that are coming. And by the way, we're going to talk about the Trump card, which I believe is stable coins. We're going to talk a lot about that as we go forward in this video. The XRP, now remember, this is not the ETF that launched yesterday for XRP is not a spot ETF, which means that is not, it's an ETF they're buying derivatives. They are not going out into the market and buying XRP. This is just an indicator of what's coming when you do have spot XRP ETFs, and it's in the middle of all this tariff stuff that's scaring the markets, and it still did well. Two-time XRP ETF saw $5 million in volume in 1 day, very respectable, especially considering the market conditions. That puts it in approximately top 5% of new ETF launches, and about 4 times what the two-time Solana ETF did, although both 200 times less than King IBIT. Okay, and here's the guy, well, he's coming up. Also this, Standard Chartered, I got this out of order. Standard Chartered is back to making super bullish crypto-related predictions, says XRP will hit 550 by end of year, 1250 in 3 years. I think it's all going to happen a lot faster than that. I think they've got to play it conservative. Oh, look, Elizabeth Warren is coming on CNBC at 8:20 a.m. to give us her communist views. Currently it's 194. Nature's healing. XRP could hit 1250 before President Trump's term ends. Standard Chartered. And this is the guy this right here is the guy who launched the XRP ETF yesterday from what's his company? Ethereum.
You did just launch the first XRP ETF in the US. I'm just curious, how did day one go? I know there's still a little bit of time until market close here as we record this, but what have you seen thus far?
A terrific response. There was overwhelming excitement. I think a lot because we were overlooked. I mean, we made our filing and it was largely ignored. We were the only people to file with a ticker. And for whatever reason, it just was passed over, and it kind of took people by surprise. We filed as soon as we could after the old SEC regime left, and the 75 days effectiveness took place on Saturday. So we seeded yesterday, which was Monday, and launched today. I think it's almost at a couple 100,000 shares. It's been a terrific, very successful launch. Our most successful launch day to date for any fund we've ever done.
You better believe it. And that's not even a spot XRP ETF, folks. Okay, we're going to go into DAIXRP.com, which is the Patreon. If you'd rather join through YouTube, click on the join button right below this video. We're going to talk about a lot of things, but one of the things we're going to talk about stable coins. This is the Trump card. I'm telling you, all these trade wars and all of this, I'm going to make it make sense. And I'm going to show you a video where it's explained very well. That's one of the things all these what do you want to call them, XRP apologists, whatever these people are that intentionally try to make everything negative about XRP and Ripple. But we're gonna one of their things is, oh, that's RLUSD, that's not XRP. Well, I don't think it's a lack of understanding on their part. I think it's intentional. Just like you know how every time the XRP price goes up, all the Bitcoin people come underneath all the threads and go nuts. Well, if you hate Ripple and XRP that bad, wouldn't you also have plants in social media who pose as XRP people in the XRP community and also spend a lot of time and spend all their time trying to bash XRP? Yeah, you would. Folks, there's a lot going on out there. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. we block those people out. We literally block them, and we block them out because lay with pigs, get dirty, folks. Here we go.